The next game in the South region takes us to number 7 Marquette and number 10 New Mexico. This was one of the upsets that I predicted here in one of our earlier episodes in our initial bracket reaction pod, with Nelly Jr. Joseph kind of being the X factor in this game with his activity on the boards, his size inside. Ben Gold not really being able to handle him, and then Parham I'm not really sure can do it either. So initial reaction says New Mexico takes this game despite being few-point underdog.
Yeah, I think it's a coin flip. I don't have like a real opinion or a real strong opinion on who I think is going to win this game, but I do think Nelly Jr. Joseph could be the X factor. For me, it just comes down to, can New Mexico shoot the ball well enough, because Marquette is going to force you to take some threes, and I don't really trust the shooting, the spot up shooting on this roster of like Mustafa Amzil, Philip Borovichnin, or like True Washington is fine. He's not great. He's more of an on-ball guard, and they kind of force secondary actions. So it kind of, I don't know. It's really tough for me because I don't really believe in this Marquette offense. I didn't believe in them earlier in the year. Obviously, kind of got burnt there because they looked like a top 10 team in the country, and their offense really regressed in conference play to where I thought they were going to end up. And yeah, I think it's going to be a fun, fast-paced game. It'll come down to really who can generate more buckets in transition as well. And ultimately, I think I do trust Donovan Dent. So if I had to take a side, I think I would take New Mexico, but I could easily see this game going either way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that like you mentioned Donovan Dent. I think Donovan Dent and Cam Jones is going to be a really fun matchup here. Two guards that are both pretty fun, especially for March Madness, can both make fantastic plays and maybe get into a game where they go back and forth a little bit. So that could be really fun to watch. It could come down to the last few possessions. Ultimately, I think that it's New Mexico's presence on the offensive glass that wins out. However, New Mexico does force a lot of turnovers. Marquette doesn't turn it over very much. So that's going to be something to watch. If New Mexico can kind of win out there, I could see them taking care of business. However, right, if Marquette can continue to limit turnovers and New Mexico does generate some offense in transition off of those turnovers, if they're unable to do that, maybe they don't have as much success against Marquette, because they have to play more half-court offense. Not that I'm so much scared of Marquette's half-court defense, but, if they're having to play exclusively in the half-court or much more in the half-court, like that's not exactly how they've generated all their offense all year, where they've turned teams over at a 15, 20 turnovers per game.
Sure. Yeah. And ultimately, like, if this game came down to a half-court battle or the team that's going to make more shots from the perimeter, I would say Marquette's going to win this game. But I do think, the glass advantage is with New Mexico, the athleticism advantage is with New Mexico, and for a Mountain West team to come in against a Big East team and, have the athleticism advantage, I think, that definitely gives the Lobos a great chance. So, yeah, that'll be the side I go with.
Yeah, for sure. So, should be a really fun game. Like we said, could go down to the last few possessions. But look for a Mountain West team to potentially get a victory here and move on to take on the winner of Michigan State and Bryant.